Jeremy Diebel do an incredible job. All right. Well, I have to tell you, watching that video was a lot of fun. My kids, who were, many of them now in the business, actually just 2 of them, but that's many, we only have 4, have friends in the back that are just dying laughing about how little they are on the video. It's pretty fun now that they are business owners. So I think it might be time to update. What do you guys think? Maybe. Anyway, I guess I better find my clicker. I'm excited because I get to talk to you about momentum, and you've heard a lot about momentum. I remember when I first started ACN, I thought, oh my gosh, if somebody says the word momentum again, I'm going to scream. What is this all about, this momentum? Every single training. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you actually can figure out how to create momentum, you can have anything and everything you want. And I mean it, okay? So I want you to write this down. Momentum, the most important key to success, both short-term and long-term in network marketing. Okay, momentum is the key. Now, how many of you feel like this guy in your business? Maybe you feel like you've run out of gas. Maybe you feel like your car was stalled from the beginning. You know, in fact, how many of you, let me ask you this, how many of you are here, maybe just brand new, and you're hearing all this training, you're like, shoot, I haven't even started my car yet. Yes, any of you like that? And then how many of you maybe have had momentum, and now you feel like your car's stalled out? Any of you like that, okay? So you're going to go through different phases in your business, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you are wise, when you get momentum, do not take your hand off of it, okay? Never take momentum for granted. It is the greatest thing you can ever have in business. It's incredible. So I will tell you, this is probably kind of a frustrating thought, is this. Momentum really, like most of the work in creating momentum is right in the beginning. Would you guys agree with that? If your car is stalled, or let's say you run out of gas, and you're the only one in the car, and you've got to get this car from the freeway maybe to a gas station off the exit, how long are you going to have to rock that car before it starts moving? I don't know how long, but I'm going to guess, ladies, it's going to be longer for us, okay? In fact, our family just went to Maui on the RVP trip, and we decided it would be really fun to go do the Haleakala whole bike riding thing. Have any of you ever done that, by the way? Okay, well, it seemed all right for a minute until we had to go uphill. Now, let me just tell you, my family put me in the front, and you know I am in a family, all my kids, my husband, they're all athletes. I am not an athlete at all, so they put me in the front. What happens when you're in the front with a bunch of athletes behind you? They're all ticked at you. They're like, come on already, right? I'm like, shoot, I should have been in the back. Well, here we are. And I swear to you, what is wrong with the bikes? Have any of you actually done this? You pedal, pedal, pedal to go uphill? Like there's no gears in these things or something. I felt like a little midget person. I'm like, brrr, and my bike is going nowhere. Is it only me? Maybe I had a defective bike that day. I don't know. And Kaylee's behind me. She's like, Mom, come on. I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can. She's dying laughing. She's like, you're not even moving. And I thought, man, if I could just, this way, if I could just get a little bit of catch, if I could just catch it, then we'd be going somewhere, okay? And finally, I pedaled long enough and hard enough, something happened, and it actually worked, okay? So just know that initial pedaling, that initial pushing is going to be most of the work for you. So if you're just starting your business, or if you're somewhere that's stuck, you are going to have to work hard for a little bit. But what happens when you actually get your ACN car moving? What do you think happens? Does it get easier to push it? Once it's moving a little bit, then you don't have to put near as much effort in it to keep it going if you're pushing it. Now, is it possible to get that car moving fast enough that you have to put hardly any effort into it? Okay? And what would happen if, let's just say that you got going so fast and then all of a sudden you were going downhill like I was on my bike. See, I went from frustration to complete fear. Because then my bike was going. I'm like, oh, crap, okay? But would you be excited if your ACN car got away from you? Wouldn't that be incredible, okay? And I will tell you, it is going to happen. I guarantee you, Mindy and Jeremy Diebel, Jeff Weber, Darren and I, all the SVPs here in the room, our cars are going so fast that we can go on vacation. We can be gone for a month And we have over 1,000 IBOs joining our team a month. Okay, would you say that's your car going away? Absolutely. So how many of you would like to learn how to actually make that happen? Okay. All right. So here is what I'm going to tell you. I want to teach you a concept that if you actually apply, I would say that in the next 3 months, you can actually have to be running pretty fast to keep up with your car. Would that be nice? Okay? So qualifications have everything to do with momentum. I'm going to teach you something called the 5-day rule, but I want you to write it down. Qualifications have everything to do with momentum. Everything. Now, I do remember being stalled out in my ACN business. We were team coordinators. Sounds kind of crazy. We went on a vacation, probably not a good idea as a brand new team coordinator to go on a really long one, but we did. And we came back and we were a little bit stalled out. And I remember working, and I actually called my leader and I said, you know what? It feels like I'm putting IBOs in every month, and then the next month I'm working with a whole new batch of them. The ones I worked with last month aren't even around anymore. And then the next month it's a whole new batch. How many of you have experienced this? Okay. The problem is that I was not following the 5-day rule. When I applied the 5-day rule, and I actually started getting my IBOs qualified, and Darren was getting the ones he was working with qualified, our momentum went insanely crazy. In fact, we went from January doing 20 IBOs as team coordinators to February doing 98 and March doing 127. Okay, so here we go. What is the definition of a QTT here in the United States? It's 5 points. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't do 5 points. I would go for 7 right out the gate. Get them set up for ETT. But yes, the qualification for the U.S., in case you're brand new, is you want to have 5 points. You've got to have 2 preferred customers, 3 total customers. Within those 3, 2 must be preferred services, and we'll go over that more tomorrow. Now, how long does it actually take, do you think, to get somebody qualified? Could we say an hour to be safe? Do you really think it takes longer than an hour to get somebody qualified? No, I don't think so. Okay, so the first goal when we sign up an IBO is to get them qualified. Now, how many of you have ever sat and tried to get somebody, or maybe you didn't even sat, maybe you just called them. How many of you have ever been trying to get somebody qualified on day 21? You're all laughing. Why are we laughing? Because it sucks, right? Okay, first of all, they're probably MIA altogether, okay? How about day 28? Isn't that a lot of fun? That's a good time. Okay, why is it so hard anywhere from day 21 to 28? I'm going to tell you why. It's all about the 5-day window of excitement, okay? You have a very small window of time with your new IBOs to get them qualified. Their first day, their excitement is at 100%. They're out of their minds excited. How many of you were out of your mind excited? Any of you wake up the next day and go, oh crap, what did I just do? Was it only me? Okay, so their excitement's probably still there, but they're probably in a little bit of a fear mode too. So their excitement's probably half of what it was. It's probably at 50%. Day 3, if something hasn't happened with that new IBO, you have not given them some kind of success. Their excitement is at 25%, day 4, 12.5%, day 5, 6.25%. So what we've got to do is we've got to get really good at capturing that very small window of time when it is extremely easy to get somebody qualified. Okay, according to this, when is going to be the easiest time to get them qualified? Day 1, the first 24 hours when they're the most excited. Okay, now, the two most important reasons to get somebody qualified, as far as I'm concerned, or to get them qualified quick, is number 1, it is going to give them a success story. Okay, would you agree that as soon as you have customers or as soon as you have new IBOs, you have ownership in ACN? Is there some sense of responsibility? I mean, hopefully you're responsible to the people you acquired as a customer and to your new IBOs. So we want to make sure that brand new business owner starts feeling that sense of ownership of their business. I remember Mindy Diebel coming in. She came in my very first week in business, kind of blew me up. I had a couple of customers. I think those would be ourselves. And then, we also had some IBOs. But I remember probably I don't know what day it was. It was sometime during my first week. The first gal that started my business quit. She quit. And I actually kind of wanted to quit. So let me ask you a question. Have any of you ever wanted to quit? Had an I quit day? Okay, I'm going to tell you what kept me from quitting. I felt a huge responsibility to the other people I had already brought in. I did not want to quit on them, nor did I want to quit on myself, okay? But mostly it was to those other people. So you want to create that sense of ownership for your new business owners. Number 2, money. Can we all just admit that, yes, money is going to lead to something huge that we want, but we are doing this for money, are we or are we not? Yes, okay? We've got to get some money in that new IBO's hands, and also getting somebody qualified quick gets your ETT paid quick, your ETL paid quick, your TC, and so on up the line. Okay? If you are going to have an actual multi-million-dollar company, you've got to run this thing like a multi-million-dollar company. It's got to be clean, okay? So make sure you take note of that. Now, there are 2 types of teams in ACN. The first kind of team is the team that is getting their IBOs qualified in their first, actually, I would say they get them qualified in maybe 21 days or longer. So it takes them at least 3 weeks to even get anyone qualified. And then the second one is the average qualification is 5 days or less. So I want you to ask yourselves, just take a minute and just a little self-evaluation. What kind of team are you running? Are you running team number 1 or team number 2? What's your average? Okay, now here's the good news. If you're running number 1, it's not good. But isn't it good when you know what's wrong? Because then we can fix it. Does that make sense? Okay, so what is the definition of the 24-hour game plan? It's quick success, period. Okay, getting somebody qualified in their first 5 days is a huge part of the 24-hour game plan. Helping somebody get IBOs or customers quickly, either way. So if you really are following the 24-hour game plan, getting somebody qualified right away cannot be optional. It has to happen right from the get-go. Now, here's the 5-day rule. Write this down. The 5-day rule means that you are getting 50% of your new open line team trainers to qualify in the system within 5 days or less of their start date. Okay, everybody got that? So at least half of your new open line is getting qualified within 5 days of their start date. Okay, if you can actually do this, magic happens. Now, what is open line? For those of you who are new, let's just say that you are an executive team trainer, and let's say Sarah is an executive team trainer in your downline. Let's say that you put in 10 IBOs in the last 30 days outside of Sarah, and from Sarah down, she did 10. Well, then Sarah has 10 open line as an ETT, and so do you outside of Sarah. But Sarah's 10 are not yours. Okay, you don't have 20, you have 10, Sarah has 10. So open line would be any new IBOs that come into your team under somebody that is not a match position with you. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? If not, it will tomorrow when we do compensation plan training. Now, what does it mean to actually qualify in the system? Here's what it means. You are not actually qualified until when you log on to your back office, it says QTT next to your name. Okay, I hear all the time, I'll call somebody, hey, is so-and-so qualified? Oh, yeah, we sat down last night. We got them 7 points. Yep, they're qualified. Are they qualified? No, they are not qualified until they actually say the letters QTT in the system. So let's make sure we define the 5-day rule. When I say 50% are qualified in the system within their first 5 days, that means if you start a new IBO on July 2nd, by July 7th, it better say QTT next to their name. It doesn't mean you're finally ordering services for them on July 7th. Everybody clear about that? How many of you know some of these services take days and days to roll? Okay, so you want to make sure you're getting it done right away So no matter what happens by that 5th day, they're actually showing QTT. Okay, really important to know that. Results are all that matter. 100%, you guys. It doesn't matter if you sit with somebody for 2 hours and you've ordered 20 points. You better be checking that system and making sure everything is going through and that they are actually showing QTT in the system. Now, do we just get 5 points when we sit with somebody to get them qualified? No, we want to overshoot. Ladies, we are good at overshooting. I put this little picture here because our airplane can only hold a certain amount of weight. Otherwise, we go down, all right? So Darren decided we were going to fly our own plane out here, and Jake and the boys were going to drive the equipment for the event. Well, at about 6 in the morning, before the boys were leaving with the equipment, Darren said, hey, you and Kaylee need to pack a suitcase of just your shoes and send it with the boys, okay? Now, when Darren and I go alone, it's really cool, ladies, because we can bring all the shoes we want, all right? We don't have the whole 50-pound deal with the airlines. But Kaylee and I, we actually packed our bag, sent it with Jake, and then a few hours later, we loaded up to go take the plane. And I think Darren about died when he saw the size of our suitcases. And I tried to explain to him, babe, we got to overshoot. Ladies, we don't know if we're going to have cankles, right? When we fly, sometimes we're swollen. So if we bring a skirt suit, we need to have a backup plan in case our legs swell. Yes? I'm just saying, if we have a pantsuit and it's snug, what happens if we get bloated, ladies? Well, then we can't wear that one. But what if we don't eat at all and everything's working? We don't want it baggy, so we better bring one that fits good. Yes? Okay, ladies. How many of you overshot and brought more clothes than you needed this weekend? Yes, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so that's good, huh? Okay, so we need to make sure that we are overshooting with our customers. Okay, we don't know if our energy customer maybe has bad credit. We better have another service just in case, right? We want to do local long distance, but shoot, what if they really have DSL and they told us they had Comcast for their internet, and now local long distance isn't going to connect? Are you following me? Okay, we want to get as many customers as possible, but I would say minimum, we better have 7 points. Okay, now, what if we sit with somebody, we get them all their points, we think everything is good, and we log onto the computer the next day or two, and we see incomplete points? Okay, here's the question. Are we going to get on the phone with rep services and spend a whole day trying to get those points cleared up? No, we are getting them another customer. Okay, we are not waiting for those. It's next. Who else can we acquire as a customer? Now, can I be real frank with everybody? Can we have a little spanking time? Everybody has their butt pat on? Okay. How many of you would just admit, okay, let's be all real here, I'll be real as well. How many of you would admit that people not getting qualified in your team within the first 5 days, for the most part, is a lack of you as a leader, me as a leader, truly doing everything it takes to truly help that person? It's our fault. Our laziness, our unwillingness to get uncomfortable. Yes? Okay, now I'm going to tell you what. You're going to hear a story in a little while, but Jake, Dowd, my son, okay? This guy is killing it. Wednesday, he starts talking about doing ACN. I didn't want him to start ACN. He's got his whole college football deal going on. I'm like, Jake, just wait. No, ACN will always be here. By Thursday, it's getting more intense. By Friday, it's boiling up more. And I've got Darren Jr., who's an RD making bank right now, and I know Darren's speeding it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to lock Darren in a closet for a minute. And before I know it, Tim Spikerman is at our house, and he's all on the wagon too. Now they're both going to do this and play football and go to college. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is just getting worse as we go. So I sat the boys down, and I literally tried to scare them out of doing ACN. Okay? Literally. they were going to take this incredible trip to Lake Tahoe for the 4th of July. They were going to go all week. And so I thought I'd be really clever. And I said, you know what, you guys? If you are really going to do this, you need to cancel your trip and be business owners. Like, you can't be idiots about this. I said, Jake, Dad, and I, we have a reputation. I can't have a jack something in my business, not doing business right. Because then you would actually be a liability, okay? I said, even Darren, he's worked hard. So if you are really going to do this, you got to cancel Tahoe, and you got to be at Quick Start training. And I totally expected that would be the end of the conversation. But no, next thing I know, they're not going to Tahoe. They're up, they're in the morning, they're going to the Quick Start training the next day with guests, okay? With guests with them. They sit through Quick Start. I didn't even know that they actually signed up right after Quick Start. I didn't know this. It just happened magically, Darren Jr., wherever you are, okay? And I knew they'd gone out and got customers. I knew this, and I knew they'd been talking to their buddies, and I knew people were signing up. But Monday morning, I thought, I'm just going to hop on and see if Jake's showing qualified, because I was feeling like I was being told a fish story about these phone points. So I get online on my back office, Jake Dowd. Okay, I'm not talking incomplete points. I'm talking complete. So this is Monday. He just started Saturday. It says ETT, 34 points just on Jake. Okay? I see underneath Tim Spikerman, QTT. It's not 7 points, guys. 27 complete points. And then Cody, the third business owner, 24 complete points. Dude, the guy had been in ACN for 2 days and he had 85 points in his downline. That's insane. I had called Darren into the office, emergency meeting. I'm like, babe, I am lame. Like, I am so pathetic. I cannot believe that I'm such a chicken. Like, look at what the boys are doing. What in the freak is wrong with me? Right? Okay, would you guys admit we are just a bunch of chicken poo-poo weenie heads? I don't know what we are. Like, we got to get some guns. Yes? Do you know they were so excited about getting customers? I wanted to go get a customer. I really did. They went after all the easy ones that would post right away, local, long distance, and energy. You guys made it so simple. What is wrong with all of us grown-ups? Seriously, we are lazy. We have preconceived ideas. We're all worried about what people are going to think. We need to, let all that go because it is making us very poor. Would you agree? Okay? And would you agree with me that some of us that have been ETLs for 6 months would already be TCs if we could get this thing figured out? I mean, I don't even know how fast Jake will go TC, but he already has 100 points in this team. He's on day 5 today, day 6. Day 6 today. That's crazy, okay? All right, incomplete next. Let me ask you a question. What happens if you're a TC, you have 99 QTTs for the month, and your 100th team trainer has 2 incomplete customers? Do you guys think you're just going to kind of wait and see if those customers roll into the complete pattern? Are you guys going to do that? No. What are you going to do? I'm going to tell you a real story. This actually happened to us. No joke. It was day 30 and our 100th had incomplete points. Do you know Darren, no joke, went to the guy's work. It was like at Kaiser. And he went and hid outside the men's restroom. Not a joke. On break. Couldn't catch the guy the first time. All day, camped out. He just knew he'd catch him. Sure enough, caught the guy at work near the restroom. Made the guy go with him outside with the laptop and do the whole deal. Okay? Next day, it was still not showing complete. back to work again. He's stalking him. I mean, big time. And just know, Darren didn't wait until the 30th day. This stalking had started on day 5, okay? Went back no, you need to get on the phone with me with the RV. Dude, I got to go into work. No, you don't. You need to get on the phone with me, okay? Put him on with the rep services, whatever. I don't know what all happened, but we got him qualified. Now, how many of you would say this would be a top priority? Would you do pretty much whatever it took to make this happen? Okay, now, what if you treated every qualification in your team like it was your 100th open line as a TC? Do you think we would all do our business just a little bit different? Do you think you would wait for your upline to go handle it? Would you wait for your downline ETL or your ETT to do it? Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to be the CEOs of our business. Period. You can't put it in anyone else's hands. Nobody else's. Your qualifications are yours. It is your business. How many of you saw Mindy's diagram there where Mindy was doing the work a whole bunch of people should have done for a really, really long time? Do you think she's glad she did it? Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you're an ETL and you have 3 other ETLs deep and 10 ETTs deep and you have a guy down here that needs qualified, who should do it? You, another ETL, the ETT, maybe a QTT? The answer is really yes. It's yes. Yes, they should all do it. We should all do it. Everybody should do it. Do you think if everybody attacked it like it was their responsibility, this would be happening faster? Absolutely, okay? A QTT can absolutely qualify somebody. You want to know how I know? Here's how I know. Because Spikerman and Jake went out and helped Kevin. And Kevin, how many days have you been in ACN? 2 whole days, which means Spikerman and Jake were only 3 days old when Kevin was born, okay? And how many points did they assist you in achieving? 7 points. On which day? Day 1. Okay, he now has 10, but 7 day 1. Do you think they were professionals? No, I don't think they were. I'm pretty sure some people might be getting their DSL cut off soon. I'm not really sure how that's all going to go down, okay? We're hoping. I'm a little worried. I don't really think that'll happen. Will it, Jake? He said he doesn't know. That's not yet. Anyway, they weren't. You guys, some of us are sitting here as ETTs and ETLs saying we're not qualifying our people because we don't know how. That is lame. That is what we call an excuse. We all have 2. They're like armpits and they all stink. Okay. Do whatever it takes. Take responsibility of your qualifications. Take responsibility. You guys are here because you're leaders. That means every single one of you should be doing your own qualifications. If you're responsible enough to get all the way to Palm Desert, I think you can sit with somebody for an hour and get them 7 points. What do you think? Okay, time spent recruiting versus time spent qualifying. I love this. Think about this. Logically, how long does it take to recruit somebody? Let's go through the process. We call them maybe several times. Maybe we take them a DVD or a magazine. We get them to a home meeting. That's a couple hours for the home meeting maybe. Then sometimes we still have to take them to a weekly opportunity meeting. Sometimes they're still not in. We got to get them to a quick start training. I mean, there could be 10 hours invested into one recruit. Would you agree? How long did we say qualifications take? An hour. So here's a question for you. Why in the world would any one of us spend 10 hours to get one person in our team and then not spend 1 hour to get them qualified? Do you know how absurd that is? It's so silly. Why would we do that? Tell me. Because we're chicken weenies. Okay, how many of you can commit from this day on, you're going to be responsible, you're handling your qualifications? Yes, okay. All right, when someone's IBO agreement goes in my opinion, they should be showing QTT within 24 hours. We should be educating them in our presentation that they are going to have to get qualified. We should be making sure before we get them their IBO number that they are willing and able to refer at least 3 services. Yes or no? Okay. When it comes to momentum, it is all about the speed of your qualifications. Okay? Can I get Robert Olivan and let's see, we'll get Jeff Street. Can I get you guys up here real quick? Okay? And I just want to kind of show you guys how this works. So, oh, you're coming up on this side too. Well, that's nice. That one was closer. Okay. All right. So we're just going to say that Robert is that first kind of IBO. Now, he isn't, but we're just going to pretend he is. And Robert is getting his people qualified in like 3 weeks or more. He's not very urgent about this, all right? And actually, Jeff is getting his people qualified in 5 days or less. Okay, so they're running really 2 types of businesses here. Now, they're both part-time. They're both ETLs. They both work ACN 20 hours a week. Okay? So let's talk about Robert first. Let's say he gets started in January, and he spends all month he's like rocking his car. He is rocking his car in January, trying to get this thing amped up. And he works so hard, and he puts 10 IBOs into his team. Okay? 10 IBOs that are all getting qualified by their 21st day. So let me ask you, what's the soonest that anyone could get to ETT in his team? Their 4th week. Is anybody really making money here? No. Okay? Are they getting paid quick or slow? Okay? Are they creating stories quick or slow? Okay? Are people achieving ETT quick or slow? Really slow. Really slow. So here we go. It's February. Robert has to start rocking the car all over again. I mean, he's starting all over again. Here he goes with his 20 hours a week, and he's rocking, and he's rocking. I mean, he is working hard. And I'm going to say probably those first 10, they might not even be around anymore. And so Robert works really hard, and he gets 10 more in. But you know what? He still doesn't get anybody qualified till their 21st day. So again, how long till anybody goes ETT? At least 4 weeks. Are they going to have any kind of a great success story? No. A lot of excitement happening in this team? A lot of enthusiasm? No. Okay? Here we go into March, and Robert cannot figure out why Robert, still in March, feels like he is just working so hard. He is exhausted. He feels like he is putting in everything he can, and his business is stuck. Okay? How many of you have been here? You do 10, and then you do 10, and then you do 10. Okay? Now, let's talk about Jeff Street here. Jeff is doing this in 5 days or less. Okay? Now, here's what is happening. If he's doing this in 5 days or less, do you think people in his team are getting paid quick or slow? Quick. Yeah. In fact, in January, he puts 10 in. He spends the same 20 hours a week. Dude, he is excited. He's getting some awesome success stories of people hitting ETT their first week, their second week, maybe making their $1,000 bonus. So are people going to continue to be excited in this team? Yeah, the success stories alone start to recruit other people into the team. Here's what happens. In February, he puts in the same 20 hours, but the first 10 hours every week during the month put in the 10 that happened the last month. So he puts 10 in, and then he can spend the next 10 hours every week during the month putting 10 more in. So he actually does 20 this month, and actually, it's the same amount of effort that he spent getting the first 10. Does this make sense? Because when people are getting in front of the room and saying, hey, I hit ETT in my first week. Shoot, Jake's first PBR, you guys, I did it Monday night, and we had him in front of the room talking about how he'd already not just qualified for, but made $1,000. He's like, dude, I made as much money in 2 days as I made all last summer working. Do you know how excited those 19-year-olds were about that? Okay? Do you think that had people signing up into his business? He's on day 5. He's qualified for $2,000. That's cool, guys. Okay? So all this momentum is going on in his team. He goes into March. Jeff goes into March, and the first 10 hours, because of all the success stories and all the promotions and all the excitement that's happening, he puts 20 people in his business in the first 10 hours. Then the second 10 hours, he can spend putting 20 more. Now he's doing 40 in a month. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay? Now, I would say that if he continues this, he's going to be on a track to get TC done pretty quick. Would you agree? Okay, so can we give these guys a hand? Thank you. Okay. What's the best way to get somebody qualified? Do it with them. You've got to do it with them. We have got to be good coaches. If you're going to build a multi-million-dollar empire, you want to start creating duplication, which means you need to do it with them so they can see how it works. You've got to be the best coach in the world, you guys. The three most important words in ACN, in my opinion, are lead by example. The best way to show somebody how to do something in ACN or tell them is just to show them, okay? People do not want to hear a sermon. They want to see one. Are we clear? Okay. Take action. Here's what we've got to do to be in control of these qualifications. Number one, we've got to be on our reports every day, at least once a day, checking to see who needs to be qualified and where the points are at. If there's someone that's been in a couple days and they're not yet showing QTT, that should be a huge red flag for all of us. We've got to be on the phone, calling them, setting appointments to get with them to get these customers, or calling somebody with them on a three-way call to get them as a customer. I would never leave it to the new IBO to do it alone, ever. I would be on the phone doing a three-way call to mom, then again on the line calling DirecTV, hearing all the transaction happening. Does this make sense to all of you? Okay? Take responsibility for your business again. TC, you guys, is not going to happen by accident. You are going to have to be so proactive. So proactive. If it's to be, it's up to me kind of a mindset. Gotcha, Jeff. Take responsibility for your business. Very, very important. Assist that IBO and get them qualified quickly. Now, can I get Jake and Spikerman to come up here real quick? Can we get a huge round of applause for these guys? And actually, are the Paloses here? Can I get you up here as well? Come on up here. I know we're putting them on the spot here. Okay, so couple of questions for Jake. First of all, how did you get qualified? How did you do this process? Did anybody do it with you? Did they teach you how? What was the deal?
All right, well, first off, Darren, here's my upline. So looking at my parents and my brother's success, I know the biggest thing was to be coachable. So anything my brother told me to do, I did.
Okay,
and
awesome.
so the first thing he told me and Tim to do was to go online and watch all the videos. Now, it's about 2.5 hours of videos, so first thing we did, hopped online and watched the videos. And then
did you watch the customer videos?
Yep,
the service
customer
videos.
acquisition,
Okay.
yep. And then second thing we did is I called Darren and I was like, hey, I need to know how to get customers because we need to get qualified tonight. So he got on Skype and he showed us like through the computer because he's in Modesto, we were in SAC. I forget the website that you can see the screen on your computer, but he used that. And I think it's joinme.com or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, he did that, and then me and Tim Spikerman, after that, we went on a frenzy out to his neighborhood and got qualified.
Okay,
we got
awesome.
tons of customers.
Now, I will tell you, they did not use customer survey forms. They just took their laptops. That was it. The people that they gave survey forms to are still not their customers.
Yep.
They actually just took their laptop and acquired the customer right on the spot. Okay, pretty good stuff. Tim, did Jake get your customers with you, or did you do it on your own?
Well, first it was my family that I went after. Obviously I did that by myself through the phone, talking to my parents. But Jake went with me door to door in my neighborhood, and we would either, share the points. Like he would get a phone point, I would get an energy, depending on how it went. If at first he did more talking than me, but the customers I was more close to in the neighborhood, I obviously started more conversation, and I did those services for them.
Okay, awesome. Now, I'm going to talk to the Paloses here for a minute. Emily is actually Tim's girlfriend, okay? And the reason I wanted to bring them up here is because I get young people asking me all the time, how did my 21-year-old get to RD so fast? How are they having the success they're having? Do you notice that these guys are not 19? Do we notice this? Okay, so can I have your mom take the mic for a minute? Because mom showed up at Tim and Jake's first PBR Monday night. Can you just tell me what attracted you into ACN, and if at all the success they were having already had anything to do with you taking the lead?
Absolutely. I remember Emily saying, "Oh, I'm going to go." Tim actually, bless his heart, came and said, "Mrs. Palos, I'm considering this with my friend Jake. Would you pray about it with me? Just pray for me on this, and let's see if we should do it." So, of course, they dive in quickly, and at their first meeting, Emily is going to support, and they said, "Well, why don't you come and support and just hear this yourself?" Never thinking that I'd never even heard of ACN. So I get in there, this dynamo, these guys get up, and Darren, and they've just got this enthusiasm, and they're already going and kicking it. And then she comes in, and I'm thinking, okay, a woman, and someone who's had 4 kids, and, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And so she comes in and explains this, and I am surprising myself getting so pumped. So I just thought, boy, these guys were kicking it. Their enthusiasm just blew wind in my sails. And I went home and I said, "Babes, you guys got to get in this." Because we needed his $499 to join us. So they joined that night when she did a presentation later that evening.
So Monday night was the PBR. Tuesday night, Teresa and Mark both showed up at the big opportunity meeting, okay? So these guys were great at promoting a bigger event to get the older folks too, not meaning older in a bad way, more seasoned adults, okay? Now, this is Jake's report on his 3rd day, and if you can, I don't know if you can pull that report over or not, but he actually was already showing 87 total points in his team that day, okay? And then this is what his team looks like now. So you can see that momentum is already going. And Teresa, just a question for you. Did I sit with you and help you get qualified and launch you?
No, Tim.
Okay.
And Jake.
That's
and
it,
Jake.
baby.
Hey, I was there too.
Both
I was
of
there
them.
too.
Both of them.
Let's see, what do you got here, girl?
I'm getting there.
How many points do you have? 7.
Yes.
Okay, so she has 7 complete points, and you started on
The 3rd.
the 3rd.
And then it's, 4th of July. So.
Pretty good stuff, right? Okay. What day did you actually order all those services?
Oh, that you guys came to my house that day.
Yeah, it was
right?
the same day.
The same day.
Okay, so good stuff. And Darren, do you remember how many points? Do you know how many points you have today in your team?
Oh, in my team?
Uh-huh.
I haven't checked.
I think it's 107 or 110.
Yeah, I know it's over 100.
So again, imagine Darren Jr. He's an RD, but what if he would have been an ETL just starting this line? He would already be halfway to TC in this line. That's what being responsible about this part of your business can do for you, okay? Can we give these guys a huge round of applause? Thank you. And then I want to go ahead and have one more couple come up. Can I have Mark and Kim Ordaz come up? Can we get you up here? And Carol and Cliff Johnson, come up here. Yep. Come on over here.